We looked at the usefulness and feasibility of producing report cards that can show various levels of aggregating data. The following report cards we looked at were the national report card, the regional or parish level report card, the school level report card, and the teacher level report card. We evaluated producing a national report card that would enable Jamaica to compare its performance against international and regional standards. The weakness, though, is that this type of report card would take longer than a year to produce, so therefore there would be some time constraints that we may experience. CaPRI also explored the possibility of creating a regional or parish level report card. And we discovered that although it would highlight the gaps in performance between parishes and regions, it would still not be the best type to produce. Because even though it's more time consuming than producing a national report card. And we also believe that the regional level report card would not contribute much more to the accountability debate than a national report card would. So overall, the weaknesses outweigh the strengths, and we thought that the regional level report card would not be the best fit for Jamaica's system. We examined producing a school level report card, and this report card would essentially highlight school performance. However, it would be impractical as a standalone exercise. So it wouldn't be very feasible to produce a separate report card for each school in the country. It'd be more effective if the school level report card would be value added. Finally, we looked at the teacher level report card, and we concluded that it was not the most practical or useful method to generate improvement in teaching. And in addition, researchers often found it difficult to choose the most effective way to evaluate teachers. So based on our rigorous evaluation of what stakeholders want, and after examining international best practices such as CaPRI, CaPRI's short-term recommendation is that we produce a national level report card. Firstly, the National Education Report Card would be based on an existing model. CaPRI has published 16 national education report cards in 9 different countries. So therefore, this model is feasible because concerns specific to Jamaica can be incorporated into the design. Secondly, it would be less costly because the national report card relies on using information to produce a single report. Thirdly, implementation by an independent monitoring body would help gain greater buy-in. In addition, CaPRI's long-term recommendation is the creation of a value-added school report card. And this would be a report card which would show the effects that a teacher or a school has on a student learning or a student's test scores by controlling for factors outside of a teacher or school's circle of influence. And the student-associated factors that I'm referring to would be a student's previous level of knowledge, and this would be measured by their score at the start of the school year. Other factors would be a student's family income, the educational attainment of parents, the safety of the student's neighborhood, the student's access to public transportation and proper nutrition, the student's involvement in co-curricular activities, and the level of parental involvement in the lives of students. One of the drawbacks of doing such a report card is that all of the baseline data on numerous student-associated factors would be needed to make a simple value-added school report card. And currently, only some of that baseline data is readily available. The data for the school report card that is readily available can be obtained through the Jamaica School Administration software, and that is known as JSAS. And this is a web-based management tool for administrative and diagnostic tasks. JSAS is currently being upgraded in schools nationwide. And so JSAS would collect information on a teacher and student's attendance rate, how often a student repeats a grade, and on teacher-pupil ratio. In addition, the National Education Inspectorate would also be collecting information on a student's academic performance in national or regional tests. And the NEI would also look at their progress in relation to their starting point. The data that will be available in the future would be on relations with parents and the local community. The National Education Inspectorate, for example, will assess the level of communication between a parent and a teacher concerning a student's academic progress. JSAS will also have a parent and meeting tracking feature, and this will log the frequency and the reason for a meeting between a parent and a teacher. However, there will still be some data that will be difficult to obtain, and that will leave any value-added model to rely on proxies and estimates, which would include the data on a parent's occupation and the level of educational attainment. Data on a student or family socioeconomic status would also be difficult to obtain on an aggregate level. And data on a student's use of public or private transportation to school would take a considerable amount of time to gather, because currently there isn't a mechanism in place that does that. And finally, the data on a student's co-curricular activities would also take some time to collect, because right now there isn't any measurement in place for that variable. In conclusion, CaPRI stands ready to assist in developing any instrument which would generate the kind of primary data needed for a value-added assessment. We are also prepared to support the National Education Inspectorate in producing a value-added school report card for Jamaican schools if they choose to do so in the future. We recommend the production of a national report card and a value-added school report card because we're confident that they will both improve the measurement of educational outcomes of Jamaica's system. Thank you for listening.